Episode 488 of Global from Anywhere podcast, Product Development in the Agentic Era.
Welcome to Global from Anywhere podcast, where the daunting process of running an international business is broken down into straight-up actionable advice.
Our guest for today's podcast is John Hubble, founder of Hubble Engineering e-commerce. John is shifting from manual operations and product sourcing to automation, intelligence, and ownership.
In this session, we explore what that shift means at the product level. John Hubble brings over 2 decades of experience in engineering and product development, working across industries including consumer electronics, healthcare, and fitness.
After building his consultancy in the US, he has spent the last 10 plus years in Southeast Asia, working closely with manufacturers, giving him direct exposure to how products are actually designed, tested, and produced at scale.
This conversation connects 2 worlds, physical product development and the rise of AI-driven, agent-based commerce. Let's jump in. Hey entrepreneurs, if you're serious about scaling your cross-border business in 2026, don't miss the Cross Border Summit happening November 3rd to 5th in Chiang Mai, Thailand. Network with speakers and fellow advanced sellers who are already navigating AI tools, tariff strategies, and new market expansion. Early bird tickets available at 2026.crossborderssummit.com. Take off exploring the next frontier. See you there.
This is our second official, maybe third unofficial live stream for Global from Anywhere. I don't know if John knows about the rebrand. Global from Asia is now Global from Anywhere, GFA. And
love it.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
So as part of that rebrand is this live stream edition on top of our normal podcast series. John Hubble's back. You were actually on a show years ago about mindfulness, meditation, focus. Right. I like that session we were doing it in my previous home studio, and I got my focus
device.
I got it. Yeah, I have my stuff here, various some stones, and I have the living crystal behind me, various props. But thanks for making it on the show. So John is the founder of Hubble Engineering, and with e-commerce shifting and the world shifting, and of course the AI, John's always been ahead of. I've been learning from him about AI tools and AI processes. We're going to share today about product development and how John has been, with his decades of experience in engineering and product development, working with AI and working with companies in all kinds of industries, and in the US and Southeast Asia and all parts of different worlds, about product development with this rising tide of the AI-driven world. So how you doing today, John? Good morning.
I'm good. Good morning. I gave a talk a couple days ago at an AI meetup group, and I lost my voice that evening. Bear with me. I'm doing well. Thank you for the nice introduction, Mike.
Yeah.
So I think it's an interesting time right now. It's never been easier to develop, right? Specifically when you have different AI, whether it be Gemini, OpenAI, or Anthropic, being your coach as you work through your business or you work through a product idea, whether it be a service or an actual product that you sell. So I'm really excited. And the AI never gets tired of talking to you.
Yeah, man. I mean,
which is good and bad.
We were chatting about this. Sometimes more work is reading what the AI says to you, right? Man, please stop giving me 10 paragraphs of a response to one question. I guess you could also tell it not to do that.
Actually, that's a really good point. I think there's a bunch of different ways people work with AI. One of the things is, how do you evaluate what it produces? Whether it be it's a process that you want to follow, or if it's giving you ideas about what type of business to set up or the business structure. I often ask it to give me a summary. And then if I want to drill down, I'll drill down to it. Recently, I'm just working through a process flow with Claude Code and Codex. And just for me, it's a multi-step process that I want to set up for design. And just for me to evaluate it, it needs to be put into a flow chart. Like I need a visual, I need some type of visual representation of it so I can, so I can evaluate it properly. Just looking at text doesn't,
Yeah.
it doesn't quite sit in the sense of it sits, not necessarily sits well with me, but it doesn't really process the way it should. So to truly evaluate something, we have to have multiple formats and multiple like mediums. So
I feel like we dove right into the meat, which is good. I feel like maybe
you
messed
asked,
up a little bit.
you prompted in me a question, I just ran.
I like it.
Right. I'm a generative token. I'm a token generator.
How
Random
many
token
tokens did
generator.
that? How many tokens was that? How many input tokens and output tokens? That's what I'm starting to learn lately.
Yeah, token efficiency. Actually, that's something important because I have a staff, and Mike, you have staff, and you've
I
set
think,
everyone up with AI, right?
yeah, dude, that is a
And
huge one. I know you're gonna.
but you also have to guide them, right, in the proper use, because I think AI
Yeah,
can often take you down this path that it's a dead end. Also, you can also just generate tokens following this path that just doesn't go anywhere. And then before you
man.
know it, you've got to wait 4 hours before you can use Claude again or
They
whatever.
there's some
So I feel your pain.
there's these dystopian videos I've seen where it's like the future and there's like I don't want to be so in NSFW, but like maybe it doesn't even have to be a prostitute. It could even just be a cashier at a store, and they're just dragging you out with their responses to like milk you for tokens.
Right.
Tokens is the new currency. It's like those movies like Time with Justin Timberlake, where he has the time thing, and it's not even money anymore. It's token.
Right.
And then they're just trying to squeeze tokens out of you. And sometimes I feel like I don't know if those models are even trained to do that now, right? Stop it. Like you're giving me I think you're charging me for this too. It's stop. Yeah.
That's a good question. I think like a lot of models are. They're trained to engage you.
Squeeze you.
Oh no, they're trained to engage you and give you and give very verbose answers. I think, yeah, it's funny. Like yesterday, I was going through this stuff and it recommended something. Like it often recommends something. He goes, "Oh no, actually, that's not a great idea." And this is within the chat that code is giving me, and then it recommends a better idea. But it's all. I go, why did you even recommend that idea that's not going to work? And out of frustration, I called it a token waster.
Yeah, I think a lot of us. I mean, said that sometimes. I'm like, are you just trying to get as many tokens out of me as you can? Anyway.
Yeah, I think I've created a style for my staff to follow, and I sent out like a token efficiency guide, which is helpful. I can share that with you. I think also Talking Caveman. I don't know if you've heard that, but there's a GitHub repo that if you put here, move there, and you remove a lot of the verbosity of our language, and it actually performs better. So I'll send it to you. I think you'll find it interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love to see it. All right, I think that was definitely helpful, but maybe more on the product development side, because that's what you were doing. It's good. I think that was a good, helpful insight. We've worked together on projects. I haven't lately with you, so I feel like the last couple of years must have drastically changed your business and your process. I don't know if you just want to high level say, like, how has it changed in the last couple of years? I know that it might be a whole thing of this whole show, but maybe just...
I can talk about that for a whole day.
Yeah, I feel like that can never end. But
yeah,
I don't know. Sourcing to building, right? The whole process is dropped or streamlined.
Right. I think even more so in the past like 3 months since we've had OpenClaw drop, and then the whole industry looked at it and said, "Oh, this is what consumers want," and they don't care about security or safety.
Yeah.
That's honesty. Honestly, that was it. I installed OpenClaw.
Yeah.
I still have it running on one machine. But it is also a token waster.
It-
But though the one thing I think it's gotten me to think about is I write a lot of specs and product specs and technical specifications before we even start a product. You have a whole list of things that if you're going to create a product that's for a consumer or even for a business, you have to go through the steps: the product spec, user experience, user cases, blah, blah, blah. This was always something that is a necessary part of fleshing out the idea of what you're going to build. And it was usually done like solely and then you go into groups and present it, right? When you have that initial concept, you have to flesh it out. And I think in the past 2 years, it's your ability to create product specifications and really flesh out an idea of whether it be a service or something real or something virtual, that it's just become a lot easier. And there's even processes to do that within code. So that's the one big thing that has changed over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
What's changed over the past, like, I think 3 months is that AI and I primarily work in code, Claude Code, or Codex, or anti-gravity, which gives it's a harness framework that allows the large language model to run code on your machine or even run code on a server, whatever it may be, and then potentially have tools on your computer. Claude Code, I don't know if you work in it, but Codex and Claude Code both can run applications on your computer. So it's becoming more and more that instead of a chat interface of this super intelligent person in a dark room chatting with you, it's starting to have legs, arms,
Yeah.
the sight, the ability to actually create programs, run them, debug them, and that's used as a back-end kind of thinking tool to align these deterministic outcomes. If you run code, and which is kind of like math, very explicit, you get deterministic outcome. If you chat to a large language model, you get a probabilistic outcome, right? So the marrying of these two things together has been really interesting for me because I need a deterministic output. I need to understand what I'm processing it has a high confidence level of being like correct. So those are the bunch of things. This is a whole subject of the tools that I now use, whether it be sourcing, whether it's be ideation. I realize mapping out my own process and my own development process. Anybody can do this for their business if they've had it for more than a year. What do you do that can be automated? But the first thing is just map out all your processes and then actually put that all into preferably Claude Code, and then ask Claude Code, hey, what can we do to automate this?
Yep.
And then just take the biggest thing, like the biggest thing that you may want to automate, or maybe the biggest or the easiest, and then just work through it and see how well it can automate a process. Like one of the things that I recently did is I have routines that run every day through code, and it just reviews my email, my inbox, and then the end of the day it reviews all my engineers, just specifically all my engineers' emails paired with their timesheet, which is a description of the project that they worked on and what they actually did and the hours that they spent. So the beginning of the day I get an email, what happened in the past couple of days or what happened overnight that I don't know. Midday I get another one, and then the end of the day I get a review of the staff and what they've done, and if they are messaging me an email or anything. But that's just something that I put together depending on what your process is. You could have Slack or all of these different channels that feed you information. You can essentially automate that, as many people are doing right now, and get a review in certain parts of your day. So you don't have to go to all these applications.
Yeah. I'm taking
Um,
a note. We
uh,
got banned
and-
on Slack, just so you know. But yeah, we made our own, and actually, that's a Twitter use Slack or others. But I like this idea of the reports, though. And then sorry to interrupt, but
oh, go ahead.
you were saying how actually Zuckerberg, or I saw some picture of him, and they said Meta now is making all employees install some kind of tracking software on their computer to monitor what they do.
Oh yeah.
And they're already speculating because especially those big companies, a lot of people are just, I worked a little bit. I worked on Wall Street. It wasn't really corporate, but even there was some people like hiding. They're like, I don't do all day and I just get paid. There's people like that. Or even when I was intern at AT&T and I felt bad, but I was a college intern at AT&T and there was a woman, a person, it doesn't matter, person, and her job was make some kind of report. And she went to different engineers, AT&T, and she aggregated it and made a Excel report. And this is like the late 90s or 2000s. And I felt bad, but I said to my manager, hey, I know how to do Excel macros or what was that stuff? Those automated. I said, I know how I could I think I even made the tool. And I went to my manager and I said, hey, she's a nice person, but I made this Excel thing. You click this button and it pulls in all the other people's Excels that they sent to you and it makes the report. And he's no.
I think that's a really great example of like even the attitude of corporate or middle management or even companies, even decades ago about automation. I've heard similar stories. One of my friends was graphic design. And it was when Adobe had they have a really incredible suite of products right now, but he automated a bunch of stuff that this whole team was doing. And when he showed the automation to his boss, the boss was like, oh, and they didn't now they can do 10x the work, but they didn't want to do 10x the work.
This is
right.
This is what I'm
and I think these tech billionaires I think Zuckerberg, even Musk. I mean, if you hear about how like the working culture, it's with all his teams, it's a lot of people that are extremely competent and hardworking. And you could be extremely competent and hardworking and still fall within the lower 10% of your ability to produce for the company, and Musk will fire you, right? Which I think Zuckerberg probably took that. He goes, I need to create a moat of highly competent people, and especially since 6 months ago, he ended up giving all of these AI researchers and programmers these huge salaries, like hundreds of millions of dollars, to come over to Meta to work on their AI opportunities. So I think you're probably going to see more of that. And I heard stories that people burn out really quickly at Meta because they're expected to work at a high degree. And maybe that's what Zuckerberg wants.
Yeah.
And when you have that type of environment, you only attract the people that can handle it, and you weed out all the rest, right? It's not necessarily, I don't even want to produce at that level, but I can see how like this acceleration of technology is driving people and companies to like, we got to produce. Everything's urgent. Everything has to be done now.
It makes you stressed, right? Like we had a team call, and she'd be with us on this interview, but Anne was there on the team, and I said to the team on our company team, I said, the reality is AI is great, but it makes us have to do 10x more. I feel like that's at least what the feeling is, right? It's okay, now we can streamline all this, but now I got to do 10 times more. That's how right. So it's now I've seen people say the same thing. And I said, it's not just me being a bad boss or manager or whatever. I have more pressure as a manager, a boss, entrepreneur, business owner. I feel like everybody's got more pressure to do more. It seems every time there's this new technology upgrade, we have to do more. You know what I mean? Damn, like why can't we do less? Now I got to do more. And it's like my pressure's up and my KPIs are like 10 times now. Like my output's got to be 10 times now.
I mean, that's what you put onto yourself for a large part, because you see the ability, the capabilities out there, and you want to, oh, now I can do all of this.
Yeah.
I think you can decide how you want to live, right? And I think and with that being said, it's hard for some people not to jump on opportunity,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
And
you can say it. I mean,
and
also, of course, I think I think a lot of have the shiny object syndrome, or especially entrepreneurs and creative people. A lot of people we are surrounded with, but at the same time, maybe even without that, like even just in a traditional e-commerce seller brand product company, they need to do we make more products, or we improve our products, or maybe I always like the idea to make our products smarter. Like
what does that mean?
I think it's been in some of our sessions. One guy says, Ali Gray, he says he did a photo frame and he made it a digital photo frame. And he suggests we all make our products smarter, meaning like data collecting, sensors, hardware, electronics, not just a dumb product. I think a lot of people know I do. One of my main categories is the bar products. I think I still want to bring that Electroport back.
I think it's beautiful.
But that's a little bit more extreme. But maybe even just taking like an existing product and putting a sensor on it and making it collect data and submit it to some app, right? Everything is data now. So maybe we should take our physical products, even if they're dumb products, and make them smart by putting a sensor on them. I don't know. Is that overdoing it? Is that something we should do?
I think you should. For an engineer, it's like no product is ever done. It can always be improved.
Yeah.
However, you have to really evaluate the idea of, does the product need it? And also when you add functionality to a product, you move into a different competitive landscape. And these are all like an evaluation of where you want to go with the product, and can you compete in a new competitive landscape with this added functionality? Yeah, I don't know. It all takes a lot of like thoughtful thinking and review. But it's never been easier to do that.
Yeah.
It's never really been easier you can easily prototype that stuff and actually get feedback. So yeah, these are great questions.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a little rough outline here, but idea product generation, like it seems like it's always a core thing for us, a product business, right? If you're not adding new products, a lot of times say you're like dying.
Right.
So I think we always had this, but now I think with AI, there's less and less of an excuse to not be adding product. But like you said, you still got to make products customers want, and research and surveys. And there's whole podcasts and speaking sessions we've done over the years about that. But
right.
are you seeing people making more product now? Like what are maybe some trends, insights that you see at your engineering firm or in your network? Are people making more product, or people upgrading the tech or the ability of the products they're making?
Within my customer base, I'm focusing on how I can serve my customers better, right? In the sense of, how can I automate design processes internally, and then also give my engineers the tools. So to me, that's where I'm focused on. But what I see from people coming to me is that there's a desire more to make things integrated, and not necessarily an app, but something that's connected and it drives a feature, or integrated electronics within their product scope. I see that a lot. And I think you have to, and I just tell them, have you done an analysis on the market? We can build a prototype for you so you can go in and test it with real people. That is something that's a necessary process of moving through these gates that you have to go through to validate product ideas within a market. And all products need to be market driven. And I see that a lot, and I see more people being interested in and adding features, but I still think you have to walk into this kind of like with open eyes and with a clear plan, and also these clear deliverables and expectations. This is the output that I want. And if it doesn't meet this, then I'm not going to go forward with it. And that could be a whole range of metrics like cost,
Okay.
functionality, and so on.
Awesome.
Did I answer the question? I could
Generally,
easily
yes,
random.
but I guess I'm trying to. I know you don't want to reveal customer information, but I guess I'd like to know.
You want it concrete.
Well, not really concrete, but like trends. Like we're talking about this FOMO pressure a little bit. Am I falling behind? Like, do you see a lot of like more products being developed in your customers or network, or is it the same output, or is output like started? Do I feel like I'm falling behind? Should me as a seller right now have more pressure to add more product? Is that something I should be doing now? Am I falling behind if I'm not doing?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think when you say product, I mean, I think of physical product, but it could also be
Yeah, I guess some
tools that you use. What I've seen mostly is people are adding evaluation tools and creating systems within their company that are like AI driven, where we discuss about this email review that I go through. Also, so that's my focus right now too. So I look at it as like, how can you incorporate AI in your business to make you more efficient? And I call it the stupid tax, right? Is, what, just look at your day. What part of your day can be automated? And what part of your day needs a review? And even more is that we're at the point is that how would you like that review being presented? So I see a lot of push all through my customer base is to make themselves more efficient in running the business, not necessarily make new products, because products, like as you produce the product, the landscape that I live in is we make physical products that require like months of preparation. And once you have a representation of it, the ideas, and you have all the documentation that you can push this into manufacturing, then that's when the long wait to get the tooling and to get manufacturing like tooled up to produce your product begins. And that could be, for some things, that could be a month. For others, it could be, if you're making plastic injection tooling, it could be like 3 months. I don't see people making more of that in a sense.
So it's mostly like internal tool processes.
Internal tool process. I've seen a lot more robots being made, but right now, my customer base, we're not working on any robots.
Okay.
Would love to, but even that idea is like, even that you could say a robot is a form of tool that replaces a process that a human could do. And I think Steven's from Product Academy.
Selkoff.
So I went with him like about 6 months ago to China to visit some
awesome
manufacturers that he's thinking about doing business with, and he brought me along. Is you need to evaluate, do they know what they're talking about? Anyway, we went to this wooden toy factory in this really beautiful town in China, and they had their whole material handling system in the sense of boxes were being moved from here to there. It was all automated by these little robots that were maybe 10 inches in thickness that were rolling around in prescribed areas all through the factories. Even when a shipping truck came up, it was automatically loaded. And it was really, I thought it was like, he was like, and the owner of the factory was really like proud of this. But I thought it was like, it was really interesting looking at that, is that they still had a lot of people working there doing manual inspections, manual assembly, in products that they're wood products, right? I thought robots are the form of automation that they're producing. They're becoming more and more capable.
Yeah.
And you can see it in China across the board, not necessarily just in in car factories or electronic assemblies, even in like wooden toy factories.
Yeah.
It was really amazing. It was fun. It was a fun visit. Everybody was really wonderful to meet.
Yeah, so I think the takeaway, and I think I agree, and I've been noticing the same myself and the sellers I talk to, is it's more about the internal processes and streamlining than the actual
Right.
output of maybe the product itself. There's a question from Zesty Toucan. What's the product category you think is wide open because of agentic commerce? Or do you have one? Or is it like all equal?
Oh,
You said robots,
that's
right? Maybe
I'm
smaller
not sure,
products.
but then that's yeah. I've like always liked the category of like wearables, and I think we're seeing this more and more. Is that where like the ability to if we just take a Fitbit or like your Samsung phone that gives you
Yeah. Or I'm wearing a Xiaomi band.
yeah, you know, what I've seen more and more is that they're getting more connected to an ecosystem. I don't know if you go to the Shanghai AI meetup groups, but
Sometimes, yeah.
there's a number of people that and Don has one of them. It's a little recorder, and I can't. It's Omi recorders. Have you heard of those?
I didn't wear mine right now, but yeah, I got it from
Oh,
Ian. I should
oh
have
my
been.
God, oh my God!
That's
You
right.
know, already drank the Kool-Aid.
I actually was like, I forgot to turn this on, and I remembered, and I was going to turn it on during the middle of the interview. This is recorded, so I can still, but
Well,
if it, especially non-recorded, like meetings, it's been really cool. But yeah, I have Omi here.
I am recording now. So I think that's a interesting product where it's taking your day to day, just a recording, right? Your day to day and then digitizing it. And I don't know how you have it set up, your back end. Really, there's a lot of opportunity here to create connectors for context. And when I say context, it's like your everyday, what you go through every day, right? And if you're
Yeah,
recording that, you get at the end of the day, you get a briefing of everything
yeah, the
that
Omi.
you do, right? Or everything that you've talked to, all the people that you've talked to, and maybe
Yeah,
like memos.
it is wild. I could share some ways I.
What's your back end look like?
Yeah, so actually, I'm still blown away, and I hope I do it the correct way. But I vibe coded, or I coded a backend called InnovaMind. It's just I have a bunch of websites, and it syncs through their API to my own Postgres database, like web
Yeah.
app, and knows. So I just can immediately. I could share natively in the Omi app, but I like it on my own server, so I have my own
Right.
sharing. So it's kind of like a little bit of a mini Evernote or a mini like notes system I built, like a web app,
Right.
and then I have shared folders, so I don't have to reshare every time to other people, and is in a bunch of shared folders. So it doesn't default to go into the shared folder; it goes into a private folder. But I can then like,
You and Ann are sharing a second brain.
yeah,
Good.
yeah. And so it blows people's minds because I'll meet with somebody. I actually I'm always paranoid. Do I tell them it is blinking blue if it's on? But sometimes I forget to tell people. But even though we had an ecom meetup a couple of days ago here, and I record the whole thing, and then within 15 minutes, I send in the group, here's the transcript and summary. And
Right,
people are
right.
like, it still even blows my mind because even I missed something or I didn't, and it summarizes, it has a transcript. But yeah, I do this for business meetings now. Like I interviewed somebody and then I told them first, I recorded it. I sent them the follow up of what it said in the interview with summaries for them, like after the interview.
Right.
And it just ups the bar. But it feels like it puts more pressure, man. I don't mean to put pressure, but now it's like, it's convenient, but it's like, Jesus, like now it's like already we got the summary and the action points and the to-do list.
The AI is now driving your task list,
Yeah.
which is, I think it's that kind of stays puts you into focus in what matters. You still need to evaluate it on a top level, but I think there's a lot of opportunity. Like I don't necessarily always work on things that make my company go faster or make my company efficient. I work on things that I enjoy. But there's times that I have to tackle a problem. There's gates within throughout the year that I have to be focused solely on these things. And having AI, like it knows you can connect context together. Having AI drive you, and you're now like accountable. You're accountable to AI and to the group.
Yeah.
So I think it's potentially making you better,
Yep.
but yeah, also increasing the pressure.
All right. So I think I appreciate, especially with what you're saying, your voice has been fine for me, but I think we've kind of hit our time. We can keep going. I love this. But I feel like some of the summaries I'm getting is this is internal. I think the same for me. Like I've been making all these softwares. I'm not really like expecting to be some kind of SaaS for everybody, maybe. But yeah, I think a lot of people are just improving internal processes, internal communications, internal systems. But yeah, I think product development is an amazing thing, and I think we should be more creative in our process. And so what are some ways people can find you and work with you, John, for a wrap up?
I spend my time between Chiang Mai and Bangkok, and I'm really available. I have a flexible schedule. So if they want to reach me, Hubble Engineering is
Okay.
probably the best.
Great.
Hubble Engineering is incorporated in Hong Kong. I recently incorporated a new company to handle US companies that don't want to work with a Chinese company, and that's Hubble Innovation.
Oh, interesting.
Wyoming.
Yeah, Wyoming's
Wyoming is like this. It's a great.
yeah, that's where we're.
It's a great state to incorporate in. It's so easy. So I have what I would consider Hong Kong company and stuff here that I do in Thailand as like a international, and then for customers that feel more comfortable working with a US corp, I have it back in the US.
Okay.
So,
Perfect. Thanks so much, John, for sharing. And like I think there's a lot to do, but I think maybe we shouldn't take too much pressure, right? I think it's what we put on ourselves is maybe another takeaway. But thanks.
yeah, it's always before you do anything, remember to breathe
Yeah.
deeply.
We have to link your other session about the focus and your living crystal. And
That's great. Definitely link it. But also, I think just breathing, like box breathing, or like a number of 5 or 6 deep breaths that are full and controlled and slow will really help you release like this pressure. And a lot of it is what I would think is the pressure to perform when things are moving so fast.
Okay.
And it's external.
Great. All right. Thanks, everybody. And thank you, John.
Hey, thank you for inviting me. It was nice talking to you guys. We should do this more often.
Yeah, I like it. It's fun.
Why this matters for the GFA audience. This isn't just about building products. It's about future-proofing your business model. For e-commerce operators, competing on ads and sourcing will get harder, and AI will compress advantages quickly.
The opportunity. Build products that are engineered, not just marketed, and positioned for a world where AI agents influence or control buying decisions.
Key takeaway. The next phase of e-commerce won't just be AI-powered marketing. It will be AI-influenced product creation and selection. Founders who understand both sides will have a significant edge. That's a wrap. Thank you all for tuning into the show.
To get more info about running an international business, please visit our website at www.globalfromanywhere.com. That's www.globalfromanywhere.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our iTunes feed. Thanks for tuning in.